Welcome to Wayne's World, where we talk about anything and everything except politics. We may talk about our health or personal issues, what we are facing in life, along with music, videos, and art. If you have any questions, we'll try to answer them as well. We may talk about wrestling from the past and or wrestling from today, and the differences between the two. We will tell stories from the road in the wrestling business. We may even tell jokes and do comedy too. You never know what we'll discuss or what the topic may be. You can catch Wayne's World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Now here's your host, Greg Wayne.
All right, everybody, welcome out once again to Wayne's World. I am your host, Greg Wayne. My guest that I have says his browser is not supported. So that's going to sort of mess me up here a little bit on my guest coming up. I don't know what browser he's using. I'm not tech savvy, so I'm not sure. Me either. I take it you're watching this. Anyway, let me see if I can get him sorted out real quick. And I've got all this stuff popping up over on the other side, and I got all kind of crap popping up on my screens. Hold on just 1 second, guys. I'll see I've got 3 people out there watching. We've got a one action-packed show tonight. I've got all kind of different things going on. We are talking about little people. I've got pictures. I've got video back from the past and tag team matches, big people, little people. All kind of things. I also got a special guest, and he is a little person. If you have questions and stuff, we can ask him if I can figure out how to get him on here. He says his browser is not supported, so let me message him real quick and see if I can get that straightened out. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to try to do this and type and talk all at the same time. It's hard to do. Browser do you use? This is important. I really did want to get him on here. Really great guy. I've seen him on Randy Hill's show, not personally, but I've seen him make comments and things. And my brother knew him, and he worked with my brother. He worked with Danny. He worked with a whole bunch of people. He's been in WWE, worked with Matt Bourne as Wink up in Madison Square Garden, as a matter of fact. I don't have really a whole lot of bio on him. I've got a little bit that he sent me. I have got stacks of paper everywhere. I've got pictures lined up and a whole bunch of stuff. I'm waiting on him to answer me. He's seen it. Now he's typing. So let's figure out what he's got and figure out how to fix this. I'm not real tech savvy either. Anyway, guys, if you have questions or comments or something, if I can figure this part out and get him online, and get him to be able to be a guest, that would be fantastic. Then we can ask him questions. Those of you out there that have a question about little people on certain things that they may do, or health issues or challenges or anything like that. Okay, it says I just followed the instructions in the name, and then the join chat, and it says not supported. I don't know. I really wish I had Adam Dunn here right now. That would be wonderful. I see people have popped up over here on the chat. PJ says, hi, Greg. Hi, everyone. Al Tuttle says hello. And PJ says, love the introduction. Oh, thank you very much. I worked hard on it. And let me get back with him real quick and figure out what I'm going to do here, because I really would love to have him on here. Ask him if he's on the phone or what. Hold on. Give me just 1 second, guys. All right. I asked him a question. I am working on trying to do things better. I'm trying to make things different and make everything, the show overall, better. I did want to do the bio part. Like I said, I have got paperwork everywhere on a lot of little people. A lot of the paperwork that I've got, I wanted to rewrite it. I've got one here, and I've got another one right here, and then I've got information on little people, individuals, and then I've got some more paperwork over here that I couldn't get pictures on. And some of them I couldn't get bio information on, which I really hated. But like I said, I've got 2 or 3 different things. I actually wanted to record it and have the pictures and everything pop up and make my production part a whole lot easier. I don't have anybody helping me. I have to punch the buttons and try to take care of all this and load the pictures and load the video, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. But anyway, we're going to start off right now. I asked him if he's on a phone or if he's on a laptop, and he has not answered me back yet. However, I hope he does. I really would love to have him on. I work really hard on trying to do all of this. Oh, excuse me. And may sing a song later. I don't know. Tell some jokes. I don't know. I sort of lost all my jokes. I don't know where they went. Like I said, I've got stacks of paperwork everywhere. And my biggest thing was I really, really, really wanted to have him on here. And now he's writing me back. He's on his phone. Okay. I don't know if he's on the iPhone or what it is. Let me ask him if he's got a different browser. Hold on. Browser on your phone. Try that. Different browser on your phone. Try that. Maybe he can figure out. Let me ask him what kind of phone he's got. I really, really, really want to have him on here. What kind of phone? Question. My luck, it'll be a damn iPhone. I don't know nothing about them. Anyway, give you a quick update. He is texting me back again. It's an iPhone. Wonderful. My luck. Let me see. Can you try to download a different different enter browser? My typing's not real wonderful. Anyway, quick update on Vicky. I'll give you everybody a quick update real quick. She is doing better, still hurting. She went to a doctor, I think, today. She went to 2 doctors yesterday, or maybe it was today. She went to 2 doctors and 1 yesterday. I can't remember. I have had headaches for the last week. I'm not savvy, don't know nothing about that. Sorry. God, I hate that. Well, I don't know what to tell him. Anybody out there got any ideas about an iPhone that may work with this program? I don't even know how to tell him to go into like an iPhone store or something. I have no earthly idea. God, I really did want to have him on here. I really and really truly did. Oh well. I don't know what to tell him. Man, that sucks. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Problems. That's one thing I hate about being live, because you never know when something's going to go wrong. Anyway, Vicky's doing really, really well. She's still hurting, and she's moving around a little bit better, but still, with the medications and different things she's on, taking the chemotherapy pills every day, and once a month getting injections and all the different stuff. But she is doing better. Hey, Thomas, good to see you, buddy. If I was really wanting, Al Tuttle says, doesn't Randy Hills use Restream to get people on the show? Yes, he does. And Al, I did send my little person a link, but his iPhone, it says the browser's not supported. I don't know what to tell him because I don't know anything about an iPhone. Hang on just one second. What to tell you? Sorry. All right. And I just texted him back. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Anyway, yes, Al, he does use Restream to do all that. Vicky is doing better. She's still not out of the woods. Still sore and hurting and all that kind of stuff, and still on medications. However, she is getting around better. Okay, and I am doing absolutely wonderful tonight. Hope everybody out there is doing great. There's somebody else watching. I don't know where they're watching from. I've got 4 people on Wayne's World. 1 person on YouTube. That's cool. I don't know who's watching me on YouTube, but if you say hello to me, at least I can say hello back. I think that's great. Thank you, Thomas. Prayers, I agree. Anyway, we are going to get into this thing here in just a few minutes. I was really hoping to get him on here. I really wanted more viewer interaction with a little person, because I know there's questions and stuff out there, and I have several that I want to ask. Of course, I know the answers to them, but it's better if he's on. He actually answered it. Next time my brother-in-law come over to help me. Okay, hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and thank him and get him off the screen. Do another in future. Nope. FUT. Nope, that ain't it either. URE. I gotta figure out how to spell. Let me get all this out of the way real quick, guys. And all right. Hey, PJ, you subscribe to YouTube. Thank you very much, baby. I love you. I am also trying to get all that built up, too. I don't know if he's watching or not, but his name is Roger Calvert. He is a little person. I just closed my messages, so all this is gone. Still trying to watch over on the other side and see comments. I've got 1 share. Don't know who shared it. Wait a minute. Greg Wayne did. That was me. I don't see any comments. It says write a comment. That's okay. That's on my home page. And I really don't care about that because I don't want anybody watching that because I can't see the comments. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody out there watching it. Okay, we are going to get right into it, guys. I was really hoping to have my guest come on, but unfortunately he did not and was not able to. So I will have him back on in the future. If anybody else out there would like to come on and make comments and be live with me about little people, maybe tell me a story or something, or from your past or something that you remember. Maybe it was the Coliseum, maybe it was in Atlanta, maybe it was in Florida, California, Hawaii, Thailand, or Japan, or England, or anywhere else in the world, or Australia. Be sure you make your comments, and we do everything. So we're going to get right on into this, and I am going to, there's 2 different pages I'm going to read. There is one thing I don't, I do understand it, but I don't understand it. The word midget or dwarf to some little people is considered derogatory. I do understand that part, and I, for the longest time, have always called little people midgets. I never have, had that kind of respect up until about 15, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 16 years ago, something like that. I worked at a strip club, and I worked with a little person. It was a female. And I said something about being a midget or something. We was waiting on her to go out on stage, and she was a feature entertainer. And anyway, she took offense to it. She sort of tore me a new one, so to speak. She said the proper term is little people. And I said, yeah, little people, midgets, what the fuck ever. Excuse my language, guys. And I told her about Lord Littlebrook, and I told her about Cowboy Lang and Little Tokyo and all the little guys that I used to work with. And she sort of changed her tone. And instead of being, excuse my French, guys, a little bitch toward me, she sort of, eased over and realized, hey, you got a little something here. And matter of fact, she was one of my biggest tippers because I worked with her for 3 days. And she ended up being a bigger tipper than the big people, the tall people, whatever your normal people, whatever you want to call the features. She ended up tipping me better than all they did. But she was real mean toward me at first. And, we were sitting there, like I said, I was sort of squatting down, sitting there waiting on her to go out on stage and, go out and collect her clothes and money and all that kind of stuff, take care of her. That was my job. And along with working at the club. But anyway, I take offense now to somebody saying the word midget. So I have tried to highlight mainly that and dwarfs, because my understanding, anybody under 6 foot to 5 foot is a dwarf. Anybody under 5 foot is considered a midget. The differences is their body, the little arms and legs don't match. That's considered to be a midget. Somebody that's normal but they're short is considered a dwarf. However, things, like I said, have changed, and Al Tuttle put on here, he said, I remember when Roddy Piper shaved the Haiti kids, matter of fact, he's one of them, head or cut his hair, and the junkyard dog came out to help him. I remember all those guys you just mentioned. Okay, Al, you're going to be interested in this part, because I have over here, I've got a little bit of information on him, and I'm going to go into that too, because there's I don't have everybody's picture on here, but I do have most. So we are going to start this off, and I'm going to start with the first one. It's rather short, but I'm going to try to keep up with the pictures and everything all at the same time. This is not absolutely easy to do, but I'm going to do the best. All right, here we go, guys. I believe everybody out there can still hear me. I'm going to change the words from midget or dwarf to little people. So that way I try not to offend anybody, and I really don't want to, and I try to be respectful. It's one of them things where it's a respect issue. A lot of the guys that I worked with that I remember growing up is just the way it is. Anyway, here we go, guys. Little people wrestling, or most people call it little people wrestling, again, the M word, is also a form of professional wrestling, which includes little people or short stature who are usually under 5 foot tall. The wrestling of, again, little people has its history dating back to the 1950s and 1960s, though some people consider the word, now I am going to use this word when it applies only, though some people consider the word midget offensive, the wrestlers themselves believe it is empowering as it allows them to earn and make a good living. The tours of this professional wrestling are amusing for all ages and great fun for the whole family. The early history of little people wrestling lies in vaudeville shows. These shows put equal importance on both comedy and athletics. This type of wrestling became popular in the 50s through the 70s. These years are considered the golden age of professional wrestling. In these years, little wrestlers like Littlebrook, hang on, let me find him. I don't see him on here. I don't have his picture. That's one I could not get. Okay. Let me catch back up to where I was at. Little Beaver and Lord Littlebrook, which I do have. And Lord Littlebrook toured North America. It became more known when Sky Lolo, which is him, became the first holder of the National Wrestling Alliance's World, and that word is going to apply, Midget Championship. It was then that this attraction was promoted and included on television shows. Little People Wrestling in the 1960s and 70s also featured many known females. One of the most famous female wrestlers of the 1970s was Diamond Leal. And that's her right there. And I have met her, and I do know her, and I do remember her. She was trained by the famous female wrestler, Fabulous Moolah. Little Leal wrestled many female wrestlers, including, I've got to get down here to it, Darling Dagmar. Oop, it went away. I don't know why it did that. Darling Dagmar, and that's her right there on the screen. But her main feud remained with Princess Little Dove, and I could not get that picture, so I'll leave Dagmar on. Princess Little Dove in 1960 and 1970 also featured a few prominent female Little People wrestlers, including Sheila Johnson, Sherry Lamore, and Gypsy Rose. Okay, now I'm going to stop right there because the rest of it talks about Mexico and being masked and being a little person and lucha libre and all that kind of stuff. It does say here are some other well-known Little People wrestlers. It was Little Beaver, Lord Littlebrook, Sky Lolo, Dylan Mark Postal, which is Hornswoggle, Cowboy Lang, and then it goes on to Farmer Pete, Fuzzy Cupid, and Hank Dalton. All right, so we are going to get out of that and go back to me as soon as I can get all this back off the screen and click me back on. There we go. Okay, that was that one. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't go into all the Mexican part of it. I'm talking about the luchadors. All right, now we are going to get back into this one, and I wish I did have that picture, but unfortunately I do not. So, these are not all exactly in the same order. Again, that was the pictures I had set up was with the first one. So I'm going to have to go back and double check and double click and all that kind of stuff, put pictures up again. All right. Little People Wrestling is professional wrestling involving exceptionally short stature. Its heyday was in the 1950s and 1960s, which such wrestlers as Little Beaver and Lord Littlebrook, there he is again, toured North America. And again, Sky Lolo was the first holder of the National Wrestling Alliance World Midget Championship. In the following couple of decades, more wrestlers became prominent in North America, including foreign wrestlers such as Little Tokyo. And there's his picture. I met him too, really nice guy. The attraction was very popular in wrestling promotions from the 1950s into the 70s. Many cards included Little People wrestlers and included tag team and women Little People wrestling. Television shows for promotions in various cities frequently included Little People matches. Little People wrestling began to wane after WWF's WrestleMania 3. Afterward, promotions continued to feature Little People divisions, but its popularity was slowly declining. By the mid-1990s, Little People wrestlers mostly appeared in comical matches and segments rather than serious competitive wrestling-style matches. In Mexico, this was not the case, as wrestlers Mascarita Sagrada continued to compete in prominent Mexican promotions such as AAA and Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre. By the mid-2000s in the United States, Little People divisions once again were part of the major wrestling promotions, and wrestlers such as WWE's Hornswoggle, let me bring his picture up, I've got it on here somewhere, there it is right there, there it is, there's Hornswoggle, Now I lost my place. Were competing for and winning championships made for average-sized male wrestlers. The Little People of America have criticized midget wrestling as reinforcing stereotypes that little people are no more than entertainment, and the use of the word midget, stating that it is an offensive as a slur. Opinions on the term from performers competing in the events is mixed. Some consider the term merely descriptive of their small size, and others consider it outdated or offensive. Early history. Little People wrestling, professional wrestling, had its early origins in the vaudeville shows in the United States. These shows, comedy was as important as athletics. The sport is also indebted to professional wrestlers' carny origins, where a premium was placed on the visually unusual. Now, for those that don't know about the carny, that was the ones that usually came with fairs or things like that. Normally, back in the carny days, that's where carny, the term carny, came from, just to be a little bit informative there. They would walk around the midway and take a piece of chalk, and they would mark the back of a person that was considered to be easy prey. So from that standpoint, that is where the term mark and carny, and that's how the individual languages and stuff came about. Anyway, Al Tuttle also says, I'm going to stop right there for a second, and it says, one of the many reasons it's sad that the territories are gone is because you no longer really see little people wrestling. It was fun entertainment for the whole family, much like the Globetrotters. They were an attraction, but they came to your town. I agree. And Al also says, I think Hulk Hogan had a short-lived reality show about little people wrestling. I don't know if he did or not. I remember some shows that Hogan did, but I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head. All right, we're going to get back into it. In its heyday in 1949, and I got to go back and find the picture again, Sky Lolo won a 30-man battle royal, but become the winner of the first NWA Midget Championship, a single little person championship promoted by the National Wrestling Alliance. That's the NWA, guys. Sky Lolo, one of the most prominent little person professional wrestlers, had a long-time feud with Farmer Brooks. Now, I've got a picture of him somewhere, if I can find it. There it is, I think. I think that's him. I think that's Farmer Brooks. I could be wrong. When I looked it up, that's what it said. It had him and somebody else in the picture, but I cut the other person out. The 1950s has been called the golden age of little person wrestling. During the decade, Sky Lolo, Little Beaver, Lord Littlebrook, and Fuzzy Cupid all toured the territories of Canada, wrestling in promotions such as Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling. That was Bret Hart and Owen Hart's father, and his name was Stu. Anyway, the dominant promoter and booker for little person wrestling at the time was Jack Britton, who was stationed in Montreal, Quebec, and Ontario. Larry Kozlowski also permitted little person wrestling shows. In Canada, Sky Lolo and Little Beaver earned up to 15% of the gate proceeds at their events. Now, there is something I want to mention right here, because I heard stories for years and years and years that this man was in charge of the little people. If you wanted a little person, this is the guy you called, and that was Lord Littlebrook. I could be totally 100% wrong on that, but that was stories that I heard growing up when I was a child. Don't know if that's absolutely 100% correct or not. But anyway, we are going to go back to that one, and I am going to put, let's put Haiti Kid up here. And that's Haiti Kid. All right. Anyway, the little person professional wrestlers had many gimmicks to attract audiences and revenue. One of Sky Lolo's gimmicks was an open challenge to any other little person professional wrestler to beat him in a 2 out of 3 falls match for $100. He often turned himself upside down and balanced on his head. I did have a picture of that, but it's not loaded. The duo of Sky Lolo and Little Beaver even squared off in a match for Elizabeth II and King Farouk of Egypt. Sky Lolo also frequently teamed with Fuzzy Cupid in tag team matches. Meanwhile, Lord Littlebrook, and I'm going to go back up to his picture, which is there. Lord Littlebrook was credited as being one of the first wrestlers of any height to use aerial maneuvers in his match. In addition to North America, Littlebrook wrestled in Australia, Japan, and Thailand. PJ, you ever see Lord Littlebrook over there? That's probably before your time, I'm sure. But anyway, he wrestled in Thailand. The Little People Wrestlers also performed in Cuba prior to 1959. South America, Central America, England, Ireland, Scotland, and the countries of the mainland European continent. In the 1960s, Littlebrook trained other Little People wrestlers, including Cowboy Lang, and I've got a picture of him. As soon as I can find it, what do I do with it? Where's he at? There he is, right there. That's one of the pictures I've got. That is Cowboy Lang. Female wrestlers, the Fabulous Moolah also trained Little People wrestlers at her home in South Carolina, including female little person wrestler Diamond Lil. And I've showed y'all that picture before, and I'm going to show it again. Take Lang off. The peak and decline of little person wrestling continued to be popular into the 70s and the 80s, with foreign wrestlers coming into the United States, such as Little Tokyo. And there he is again. A Japanese professional wrestler made his way to the National Wrestling Alliance in the 1970s. British wrestler Lord Littlebrook continued to compete, but he became a manager for Jack Victory and Rip Morgan in World Championship Wrestling in the late 1980s. The World Wrestling Federation included several Little People wrestlers on their cards in the 1980s. Matter of fact, the guest I was going to have tonight, let me pop me on here. The guest I was going to have tonight was there at one of the WrestleManias, and he was also, let me get his bio information real quick. The guest I was going to have was Roger Calvert. Unfortunately, his phone didn't work right. He started training with Dale Mann in '87. He had matches very quickly in Lexington, Continental, and went to South Africa in '88 with Dale Mann and George Weingroff. And Little Danny for the USA Knoxville, and about that time he went to USWA and wrestled with Bill Dundee and Master Payne, which was The Undertaker. He refereed and wrestled in Canada, all over the U.S. with Dale Mann. And with a connection with Lawler, he went to the WWE in '94 and '95 Survivor Series. He wrestled at Madison Square Gardens, went to Malaysia, and then back to South Africa. Okay, that was my guest that I had tonight. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to come on. I really wished I could have got him on. Anyway, we're going back into this. Peak and decline. The Wrestling Federation included several Little People wrestlers on their card in the 1980s. At WrestleMania 2 in April of 1986, the Haiti Kid, let me bring his picture back up, and it's there. There we go. The Haiti Kid appeared in the corner and actor Mr. T, who was in the match against Rowdy Roddy Piper. On March 12, 1987, the WWF's WrestleMania 3 event, which is considered the pinnacle of the 1980s wrestling boom, included a team match with Little People wrestlers Haiti Kid and Little Beaver, with average-sized wrestler Hellbilly Jim defeating Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook. Now, this is something that is very, very serious, and I'm going to sort of slow down here for a second. Yes, ma'am, it was in Thailand. That is what I said. Thailand, however you pronounce it. It's hard for me to say that word. People always talk, let me get me back on the screen real quick for a second. People always talk about wrestling being fake and all that and the other. Little people have, I ain't going to say frail bodies, but they sometimes, if a big person attacks them or something and does something to them, their body cannot handle it. They may have had a previous injury or something, and that could be part of the problem. Anyway, I'm going to get back to it. And I've got pictures all over the bottom. King Kong Bundy by disqualification. During the match, Bundy slammed Little Beaver to the mat, which broke his back and forced him into early retirement. Sky Low was also touring with the WWF in the 1980s. And I think King Kong Bundy splashed one of the little people at WrestleMania 3. Correct. That is exactly what I was just talking about. I am going to show a real quick video. Get all these people off of here. Take everybody off. Unfortunately, I don't have any help. And I'm trying really, really hard. Now, okay. Anyway, I am going to add a source and go to a local video, and this is a big person and little person match, and I'm hoping that it comes up, and there it is. Now this was gotten from Universal Wrestling Association. I hope you enjoy it, guys. I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. That is what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a break and show this. There you go.
This special event, one fall or 10-minute time limit, first time ever in Mid-South, a 6-man tag bout, big and little men on each team. Introducing first, in the blue corner, the Iceman King Parson and his team of Little Coco and Cowboy Lang. And across the ring, from New Jersey, 270 pounds, Jack Victory. And his teammates, Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook. Your referee, Ron West.
For the first time ever, big man, little man, 6-man tag team action. And you're seeing it first right here on Mid-South Wrestling. Further evidence, ladies and gentlemen, of why Mid-South is the #1 wrestling television program in this great country of ours. 2 reasons. 1, the great matches, and secondly, and more importantly, all the great fans that watch us, Joe, week after week.
Well, Jim, I'll venture to guess that this is going to be a fast-paced match. If what we've seen so far is any indication, you got the midgets, and when you add the Soul and the Iceman, look at them drop kicks. When you add the Iceman, you got excitement. You're talking excitement, Jim.
Well, Iceman King Parsons is one of the most charismatic wrestlers in the country, and a tough man. He wants to. There's a tag. Now watch. The pace will quicken now.
A hip toss at Cowboy Lang. He's got Little Tokyo. He's got that arm bar. Here goes Lord Littlebrook. And Little Coco stopped him. And referee Ron West has got his hands full with these guys. Reminds me of somebody trying to catch chickens in a farm or something. There goes Little Tokyo. Cowboy Lang up. Tokyo makes the tag. And then comes Little Coco.
Little Coco and Lord Littlebrook. One of the veteran midget grapplers going against Little Tokyo here. There you see, he gave him the knee left right to the head and hurt his knee. Little Coco with that hard noggin, look.
Now, one thing I do like about this, the little guys are actually wrestling. They're not doing a bunch of little comedy
They throw him
spots.
into the second turnbuckle.
They do.
His head won't
some
reach
silly
to the top
spots,
one.
but Ron West does a fantastic job being the
Tokyo's
referee.
scrambling for a little help there.
There's a headbutt. The Coco butt, I would assume. High elevation, Lord Littlebrook. Littlebrook with a well-placed kick, and now there's a tag. Little Tokyo comes in as he and Little Coco, both men under 100 pounds. The six-man tag action is super, but don't forget next week you talk about tag action. The Rock and Roll Express against the Guerreros. It has been signed, and it will happen right here next week on Mid-South Wrestling. Don't miss that one. Oh!
Jack Victory.
Now that was...
Now come on, Jack. Iceman coming in to even up the odds. Iceman coming in, but Ronnie West has got to keep the rules under control.
Look at Iceman. He's carrying the little guy back to his corner. Victory. That was terrible. And now Iceman, you want to go? Let's go.
Victory, you picked the wrong guy to mess with in the Iceman. The Iceman throws such a punishing punch.
Oh!
Gee whiz.
There's a tag. He tagged both the little guys. Whoa! Did you? What a maneuver! That's what Victory got a little bit of his own right there.
That's fantastic. And now Victory going back after Little Coco, and Iceman throws him up for a flying body press. The Iceman's got Victory covered. 1, 2, and 3, yes.
Oh yeah, an exciting victory for the Iceman, King Parsons and his two little partners. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with tag team action right after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
www.universalwrestling.com.
That was not an intentional plug for them. I did not edit that video. Anyway, we're going to get right back into this and go back into the story where we left off. The resurgence was in the late 1990s. I don't have that graphic, so let me find one I can put up. I'll just put the one I started out with. Do that one. In the 1990s, the WWF and Mexico's AAA had a talent-sharing program that allowed several lucha libre little person wrestlers to compete on WWF television. These wrestlers included Max Mini, El Torito, Mascarita Sagrada, Manny Vader, and La Parquita. Like in the United States, these little people wrestlers played many versions of the WWF and AAA's full-size wrestlers. Sagrada, repackaged as a character named Nova, made his in-ring debut as a little person wrestler at Bad Blood in '97, where he teamed with Max Mini against Tarantula and Mosaic. The Little People wrestlers appeared on WWF Shotgun Saturday Night and WWF Monday Night Raw. The WWF's Little Person wrestlers also appeared in matches at the Royal Rumble in 1997 and the Royal Rumble in 1998. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the guest I was going to have tonight was on that card in 97 and 98. World Championship Wrestling, WCW, also had an influx of Mexican Little People wrestlers, and the late 1996 full-size wrestler Mascara Sagrada wrestled in a dark match before Starrcade in 1996, where he teamed with I can't say that name. Octagoncito, mini version of Octagon, and defeated Jerry Estrada and Parita Tita Morgan, the latter of which was also a little person. The next day the team faced again, and this time on WCW Monday Nitro. On the independent circuit, there was an increased interest in Little People hardcore wrestling matches, and groups such as the Half Pint Brawlers began selling DVDs and opening for musical acts such as Kid Rock. World Wrestling All-Stars also included hardcore matches in 2002 through 2003 with the performers such as Meatball, T.O., and Puppet, competing in matches where they hit each other with trash cans and foreign objects. In the early days of TNA, NWA TNA Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, in 2002 the promotion included a hardcore Little Person Wrestling division. Also, the division was later abandoned. At Victory Road in 2004, the company's first monthly pay-per-view ever, Mascarita Sagrada defeated Paratita Morgan. And I'm going to jump over that part. And now we get down to Hornswoggle. Good character. Where is he? Where'd he go? There he is. Boom. Pop him on there. In 2005, World Wrestling Entertainment announced the creation of the Juniors division with their SmackDown brand, which consisted of wrestlers at or below 5 feet tall. But it was discontinued in March of 2006. Despite releasing many of the junior talent, they hired Dylan Postel in May of 2006, who played a leprechaun character named Little Bastard and later Hornswoggle, who accompanied Northern Irish wrestler Fit Finlay to the ring. At the Great American Bash in July 2007, he won the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, a title normally held by full-size male wrestlers. Finlay and Hornswoggle also challenged for the WWE Tag Team Champions at Night of Champions in June of 2008. During his tenure with the company, little person wrestlers employed in the independent circuit included Short Sleeve Samson, were brought into to portray the many versions of larger wrestlers of whom Finlay was feuding. In February of 2000, the Micro Wrestling Federation, a wrestling promotion made up entirely of little people, was established. The promotion featured both serious wrestling matches and more comedic aspects. In early 2008, the Entertainment Shack booking agency acquired the MWF, or the Micro Wrestling Federation. After the acquisition, the entertainment agency hired many new little people wrestlers, making the organization the largest little people wrestling show in the United States. This show can be seen nationwide with a tour schedule that encompasses the entire U.S., Canada, and South America. The promotion usually books between 150 and 180 shows a year. That is absolutely amazing. Never knew little people could do that much. In the 21st century, there has been substantial controversy surrounding the sport. The hardcore wrestling troupe, the Half Pint Brawlers, simulated sex, used staple guns as weapons, that had to hurt, and performed using other hardcore antics in January 2008 during a Delta Epsilon fraternity at Northwestern University. That event caused back up and try again. That event caused the fraternity to face disciplinary actions. In 2008 of August, female performers in the MWF caused a disturbance when they appeared topless in a bar in Canton, Illinois. In addition, the Little People of America began to frown upon the use of the word midget in 2007. Considering it to be degrading, the wrestlers involved in the sport do not always agree with this assessment, citing the longevity of the sport and the appeal of the term to audiences. And then this goes on to talk about Extreme Dwarfinators Wrestling, which is another group. They toured across the U.S. for many years, decided to tour England and Wales and the U.K. due to the explosion of the interest in the U.K. wrestling scene. This was something I did not really understand, but at launch, the word Dwarfinators was substituted on social media, posters, and advertisement and banners. The Restricted Growth Association, the RGA, opposed the event and described it as being a freak show. The RGA statement offended many in the wrestling community, such notables in the dwarf community as James Luster, actor, former dwarf game participant, and counselor, spoke out against the organization, including former relatives of the founders of the RGA. Once 3 venues in England banned the dwarfs from appearing, a legal case for discrimination was started, quoting the Equality Act of 2010. Coyote Ugly saloons in the UK briefly suspended ticket sales while they took counsel on the matter and then gave this event support. Okay, that is that part. Now we're going to jump on into a real quick, I've already told you about the Mexican part, and then we've got the accomplishments and championships, and that's not really that important because it sort of says the same thing over and over and over. So that takes care of that part. Now, what I am going to do, PJ says, I'm always curious. Hang on. I'm always curious, do the ropes really help you to bounce off like that? Yes, they do. If you hit them hard enough, PJ, it's sort of like a spring action. It will propel you faster, and it makes it look like you're really traveling. But yes, the ropes really do, even for a big person. Unfortunately, most rings are not made for little people. They're made for big people. But if you hit the ropes just right, it will sort of spring you off because usually there's cable, and sometimes it's made out of hemp rope, which is a real pain in the rear end. But anyway, most of the time they have cable in them. I think WWF, uses actual rope. I'm not sure about TNA. I don't remember their ring, and I'm not sure about what's that other organization? I can't remember. Ring of Honor and I can't remember the other one. Anyway, some of them use cable inside, and it's aircraft cable. It does have a little bit of give. It's not quite as stiff as actual real cable. It's what's used basically on an aircraft carrier or something like that has the. Al asked a question. I will answer this for you because I know this question. He says, how long does it take for your body to get used to hitting the ropes? Just a little history, Al, and for PJ to understand, and anybody else out there that's watching. When you first start training to hit the ropes, you train to have your right hand. When you hit the rope, it grabs the top rope. Your hip hits the middle rope, and you sort of bend your leg off to the side a little bit, and you raise your right leg up just a hair, and your calf hits the bottom rope. When you first start hitting the ropes, you sort of walking back and forth, and then you pick up your speed a little bit. You hit them a little bit harder, and then you do it a little bit harder and a little bit harder, and then it hits the same spot right here under your arm. Your hip will have a bruise, and normally the side of your leg, down there where your calf's at, will have a bruise. And you'll have a bruise up under your arm right there on your deltoid muscle, whatever this muscle right here is called. And it will be sore. This is something that you do over and over and over and over until you realize and get how to hit the ropes. I've seen people sort of tiptoe back and forth and just sort of and come off, and it looks horrible. The guy throwing you off, if they don't follow through and do everything just right, it's not believable. That's what's wrong with a lot of wrestling today that I've seen. They don't do things the proper way anymore. It's like sort of stand in the corner, you just sort of throw them off, and they go to the other corner. I mean, that's BS. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. It's not believable. But yes, it does. It takes a little while, and eventually those areas do get toughened up. Same thing, taking a body slam or doing whatever. You learn how to break your fall and do different things, but your body still has to get conditioned to it. When you land wrong, you know it. It's that simple. When you get it right, it don't hurt, and that's the purpose of the training. Same thing if you are a diamond cutter or you work in a refinery or whatever. There are certain steps you have to take. Same thing with wrestling. You have to be trained properly in order to get it done and not hurt yourself. The biggest problem I see today with that, and I'm going to go into the individual wrestlers here in just a second, the little people. The biggest thing I see with that is people are not being trained properly. They do not have the proper training, nor is their body conditioned. My father wrestled for over 50 years, or right at 50 years. Jerry Lawler has been in the business for over 50 years. Bill Dundee, and I mean, I could name after name after name after name of different people that were properly trained and knew how to wrestle, as opposed to today. Back then, you had a 30, 40-year career. That's how you made your living. And, you didn't have a daytime job. If you did, it wasn't very often. And Al asked me another question. I'm going to pop this up here. If you get injured or take time off from the ring, does your body take the same time to get conditioned back used to it, or is it not as long once you've already done it? It's usually not as long. You may get a little sore at first. It depends on how long you've been off. But anyway, the thing is guys today have a 5, maybe 10-year career doing all these high moves and fluting moves and doing goofy bumps and not landing correctly and actually injuring their body. Something as simple as a hip toss, which I haven't seen in an extremely long time. I've seen an arm drag or two and a couple of back drops, but nothing major. Most of the stuff is all high flying things, and if you land wrong, you're hurt. And unfortunately, that's the way things are today, as opposed to having a career for 30, 40 years or even 50, or like Luthez for 60 years. It's just not the same. But yes, it does take time to get reconditioned, but you step right back in right where you left off whenever you get injured. Now I am going to go into the little people that I have all of the information on. I've got a whole stack full of it here. It's all been separated. I'm just going to go into the birth and death and try to find the reason why they passed away. All right, Lord Littlebrook, which is the first one. Ta-da! His real name was Eric Henry Edward Tovey. He was born January 3rd, 1929. He passed away September 9th, 2016. He was known as Lord Littlebrook. He died in St. Joseph, Missouri. He was born in Tottenham, London, England. And I need to switch page real quick and find out why he passed away, because it don't tell me on that page. It says he passed away September 2016 at the age of 87 after suffering from a variety of health issues. So it don't say exactly what he passed away from. And then we have Sky Low Low, which is the next one. I'll try to put all these in order. His real name was Marcel Gauthier. He was born July 21st, 1928. He passed away November 6, 1998. He was a Canadian professional little person wrestler under the ring name Sky Low Low. And let me see if I can find... he passed away November 6th, 1998 at the age of 70. And it does not say what he passed away from. On this one, it does not say. It does not say. It says he was in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2002. And that's all I'll see. It don't say what he passed away from. So that's Sky Low Low. The next one is Diamond Lil, and I believe she's still alive. She was born June 1st, 1944. Her ring name is Diamond Lil. She was trained by the Fabulous Moolah, and she debuted in 1963. Throughout the 1960s, Glass frequently wrestled against fellow female little person wrestler Darlene Dagmar. She teamed with Ann Casey during a match in June 1971, and they lost to Dagmar and Vicky Williams. Her personal life, she moved in with Moolah at the age of 17. She lived with Moolah for over 40 years and with Mae Young beginning in 1991 until Moolah died. Moolah introduced Diamond Lil as My Little Damn Midget on The Daily Show, hosted by Jon Stewart. All right, and that is that one. So, we are going to move on to Little Tokyo. He's one of my favorites. I always liked him. Real good guy. And that's him. Again, PJ, this is going to be hard for me to say. Foreign names. His name was Shigeru Akaban. And he was born July 5th, 1941. He passed away September 6th, 2011. He was best known on his ring name by Little Tokyo. He was a Japanese professional little person wrestler. He was born in Tokyo, Japan, and he passed away in St. Joseph, Missouri. Now let me see if I can get down here to the back page real quick and see if it tells what he passed away from. Yes, it does. On September 6, 2011, Akaban died after suffering a heart attack at the age of 70, shortly while getting up to go use the bathroom. And that's not being a joke. But anyway, he passed away. So now we are going to shoot down to the next one, which is Cowboy Lang. His real name was Harry Lang. He was born August 28, 1950. He passed away January 4th, 2007. He was a little person professional wrestler, best known by the name Cowboy Lang. Lang died of heart disease at the age of 56 in Portland, Oregon. He was born in Saskatchewan, Canada in 1950. And like I said, he passed away at the age of 56 in Portland, Oregon, and that was Cowboy Lang. Now we are going to go through to Dink, which his name was Claude Giroux. He was born in July 13th of 1956. He was a Canadian-born little person wrestler. His career spans over 20 years. He is still active in Canada independent circuit. His biggest exposure is he performed as Doink the Clown's sidekick Dink in the WWF between 1993 and 95. His major opponent was Tiger Jackson in the 1980s and the Macho Midget in the 1990s. And he wrestled as Tiger Jackson. Let's see. Don't say. I guess he's still alive. He was born in Okay, that's one of them damn French words. I ain't sure how to pronunciate it. Anyway, he was born in Quebec, Canada. That's the best I could do. His ring names was Dink the Clown, the Little Huckster, the Macho Midget, Tiger Jackson, and Tiny Tim. He was trained by Sky Lolo and Little Brutus. So I guess he's still alive because I don't see anything on here about his death. So that is him. Okay, now we are moving on. I don't have Little Beaver. Well, actually, I do have a picture of Little Beaver on here, but he's with, I forget the guy's name. Little Beaver is the one on the right, like a little Indian thing. I can't remember the guy's name on the left. It was the one that was in the video that I showed just a second ago. I can't remember his name. Anyway, Little Beaver, which is the one on the right, Lionel Giroux, born January 14th, 1934. He passed away December 4th, 1995. He was another Canadian professional wrestler, better known by his ring name, Little Beaver. He was also in WWE and WrestleMania 3 in 1987. He passed away December 4th, 1995 at age 61. And let's see if it says what he passed away from. His death, he passed away in 1995 of emphysema. He was also inducted into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2003. He was cremated after his death. and that is Little Beaver. That's the guy on the right. Now, the Haiti Kid, which is, I don't think this is the same person. It could be, but I don't think it is. I don't think those are the same two people. It could be. There's that one, and then that one. Those don't look the same to me. Okay. Anyway, this is on him. His real name was Raymond Kessler. There's another one of them words I hate to pronunciate. Haitian retired professional wrestler who has dwarfism. He wrestled under the name Haiti Kid in World Wrestling Federation. He was born in New York City, New York. His age was either 68 or 69. His ring names was Haiti Kid, Raymond Kessler, Tahiti Kid, and Tahitian Kid. He retired in 94. Now, there is something real peculiar about him. It says he was homeless in New York City for a while. On May 4th, 2001, it was that Haiti Kid had died, but it was a false death. Now, I don't know if that is true or not. I'm really curious about that one. He also wrestled up in Canada for Stampede. He wrestled for AWA, NWA, Championship Wrestling from Florida, Portland Wrestling, and MACW. He also appeared in the film Penitentiary 3. I thought that was pretty interesting. And the next one is on Farmer Brooks, which is down here. Ding, there he is again. All right, his real name was Clifford Frazier, and this will be the last one. Then we can get back into whatever we want to do. He was born October 10th, 1957. He passed away November 20th of 2022. He was the Canadian professional wrestler known as Little Person Wrestler Farmer Brooks. He was a major participant in the Grand Prix wrestling throughout the 1980s and a longtime rival of Skylo Low. After retiring from the wrestling business, Frazier began working in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. His mother's name was Stacia Frazier. He was married to Kim Hutt and had 4 children, Andrew, Leanna, Blair, and Shelby. Frazier died on November 20th, 2022, after a short illness. All right, that takes care of everything there, and I do appreciate everybody watching and doing everything and putting up with all this. But anyway, I am going to show one more picture. I'm going to go ahead and take all these off, get back to reality, and figure all this out. And I'm going to show you a picture of the guest that I was going to have. Let me bring it up. Okay, one of these 3 little people is Roger Calvert. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if he's the shortest one or if he's the one with the red hair or the one with the yellow hair. I would have to say he's probably the one with the yellow hair, if I had to guess. Oh, it's got an arrow pointing down to him. I don't know why. I didn't notice that earlier. But anyway, that was one of the guys that I was going to have as the guest tonight. It's one of them 3 little people, but I'm not sure which one. I want to say the one with the yellow hair because Dink would have been a clone of Matt or Doink, and his name was Wink. So I'm thinking that was him, and I don't know who the guy is on the right. Of course, that could be him. I don't know. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get on, so I don't know exactly. I really wanted to ask him that question because I thought it was wonderful. But anyway, we are going to get back into this and get me back on the screen. There we are. Is there anything out there anybody else would like to see or hear, or any questions that you may have? Because I know one of the questions somebody probably would ask, and I don't know if Roger? Yes, Roger. I don't know if he's still watching, but I'm going to tell a joke and hope nobody gets offended. I was going to ask Roger. Of course, I already know this answer to the question. And I'm going to try to get all my paperwork back together and put everything together. I was going to ask, how do you drive a vehicle? Of course, I already know this answer because I asked Cowboy Lang a long time ago when he had a van, and he was here in the Memphis area. And I looked down at his brake pedal, and I was just a kid. I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. I wasn't very old. And he had blocks, and I want to say he had them rubber banded on there, on his brake pedal and gas pedal. And it was just amazed me that he was able to drive a full-size vehicle. But anyway, I was going to ask Roger the same question, and I was going to ask him, by chance, do you drive a minivan? That was mean, I know, people. Y'all don't have to tell me. But that was a joke. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to come on, and I really hate that. I wished he would have been able to come on tonight, because that would have been very entertaining, and that's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to be entertained and enjoy it. Okay, Al got it. Al said, ha ha, lots of laughs. Yeah, that's what it was about. Anyway, I've got one more video I'm going to upload, and this is all little people. It is a little person tag team match. And I don't remember exactly how long this is, but it comes from the same thing, the Universal Wrestling Network or whatever it is. Hope y'all enjoy it. I think they do a few little spots in here that's sort of comical. I haven't watched this one. I did watch the other one. Well, I don't know, PJ. I may sing one tonight. I mean, let me ask you this, PJ. Check 1, 2.
Let me get all this turned on. Can you hear a difference in my voice?
Now, I had to go back and disable it. Did you hear any difference, PJ? Because that will tell me if my voice changer thing is working with this program. Because it worked with the intro thing right there at the end. It works with another program, but I don't know if it works on this one. Did it work, Al? Okay, it worked. Fantastic.
Let me turn it back on.
Now, does it sound like I'm in a cave? Oh, how's that? Now change it to another one. How's that? Okay.
So you can hear my little silly voice.
All right. That's what I wanted. That helps me out a lot when I sing. So, okay, it works. That's what I wanted to hear. I had to contact support, try to figure out how to do this, and I'd already figured it out on my settings. I had to change some things around. It's got like 4 or 5 different settings you can do, and I had it set on the wrong thing. That's why it didn't work last week. Yeah, we can do a song if that's what y'all want to do. I don't really have any comedy lined up. I'm going to take all this stuff off the screen and remove all my sources and take all my stuff that I had loaded off so I have room. I hope everybody out there enjoyed the little information that I had on the little people. Somebody give me a song that you want to hear, and I'll see if I've got it in my files. I've also got Laza over in Australia. Wait a minute, I didn't show the Little People match, did I? I ain't showed that yet. I almost deleted it. I just found it. Do y'all want to watch the Little People match first and then maybe do a song? Or do you want to watch the Little People or just not even watch any more of it and we'll just do a song? That's up to y'all. Y'all tell me. Song or video? Match first. Okay. I agree with you, PJ. I worked hard trying to get all this stuff, and I'm trying to get good quality stuff. So we will do the 4-way tag team, Little People, and then we will pick out a song. Here we go, guys. Hope you enjoy it.
tag team action now with the biggest little athletes in the world. In the red corner, the internationally known team of Ivan the Terrible and Little Tokyo. This event is for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. And in the blue corner, the All-American team of Cowboy Lang teamed up with Lone Eagle.
There you have the introduction by Reeser Bowden on this one fall midget tag team match for the top midgets in the world. Lone Eagle and Cowboy Lang on one side against Ivan the Terrible and Little Tokyo. Last week we promised you we would have this match. Our time ran out. You saw what happened in the team match last week between Hacksaw Duggan and Matt Bourne against Mr. Racing and Tiger Conway Jr. We promised you we'd have it, and now we're showing it to you now. In the ring, representing their team, Ivan the Terrible. On one side, and on the other, you have Little Lone Eagle, the Indian wrestler. Alfred Neely, the referee in the ring. A lot of people say this is entertainment. I'll tell you, these are fine professional athletes, miniature style, but pound for pound, just as good as their larger counterparts in professional wrestling. Side headlock, Little Lone Eagle on Ivan the Terrible. Here comes Little Tokyo, and he runs right, there he goes. Talk about agility and ability. It was proven by Cowboy Lang in the center of the ring. Right back with a side headlock on Ivan the Terrible. Alfred Neely warning Little Tokyo to stay out of the action. Side by side, Ivan the Terrible there. He's complaining to the referee, Alfred Neely. Stay with these little fellas because they're dynamite in small form. Little Tokyo coming in and making his first appearance. Cowboy Lang. Little Tokyo stepping across once again. And a drop kick sends him to the chin, takes him down. Little Tokyo on the mat for the count of one. Alfred Neely on the bottom as he went across the top, and the referee suffered the consequences.
As you can see, they're not doing just a bunch of goofy stuff.
Little Tokyo holding on to that
a bunch of silly stuff.
strand of rope
They
with a
are
cable
actually wrestling.
inside the strand, kicking it off as the referee loosed in, and Little
cheap
Tokyo
spot
now
right there from the heel.
picks a quarrel with the referee,
And that's what the
to tell him
referee
about
does,
it also is
make
his
him shine.
partner on the outside of the ring, Ivan the Terrible.
I agree with you again, PJ.
Once again,
Lot
holding on
more
to that
serious
strand
than
of rope.
today.
Little Tokyo
And it was a
holding on
nice
to him,
drop kick.
Cowboy Lang, and suffering the consequences. Alfred Neely and moving about, and Little Tokyo running in the wrong direction. Takes a right from Cowboy Lang, and in comes Ivan the Terrible. Smashing him head first into the turnbuckle over on the far side. Now, Lone Eagle in. But Alfred Neely moved him out. Little Tokyo coming in as Alfred Neely's back is turned. Double teaming him now. Little Tokyo on top. The referee did not see it for the 2 count. Not a victory. Little Tokyo, and there you see the war dance of Lone Eagle. Cartwheels.
Oh, that little
turning
Indian
1, 2,
can flip.
3. With the hair of the head, the chop going up the hand. Here it comes down. Little Lone Eagle on Little Tokyo, who stops it. The chops of his own and sends him reeling over in the far corner. Little Tokyo tags in. Ivan the Terrible now. Body slam on Lone Eagle, rolling
Here's
over, and
another
here
one
they
of the
come
silly
back,
spots I
and
used to do.
jumping just in time. Alfred Neely, Little Tokyo, but comes entwined. Neely couldn't backtrack fast enough as the little speedster now has him on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, all 4 of them. All 4 midgets on top of the referee.
Kicking the
There goes
referee.
one away,
That's-
leaving 2.
That's a Cowboy
off
Lang
1.
spot right there.
And there you see a red-faced Alfred Neely as he become entwined between all 4 of the top midget stars. Of course, there's Little Tokyo blaming the other team on the far side. Back to one-on-one in the ring. Cowboy Lang and Ivan the Terrible. Shoot him into the ropes to the midsection and simultaneous making a tag as Lone Eagle comes in as the legal partner now. Ivan the Terrible and Little Tokyo double teaming the Indian Lone Eagle over in the corner, makes a tag, and now Tokyo in legally. Ivan the Terrible slow in leaving. Little Tokyo high in the air. Crashing down was Lone Eagle, taking a foot to the stomach. Now head first into the turnbuckle on the second strand, which is a high one for the midgets. There they go. The referee over in the far side. Let's see it on top. There he calls for the bell. It was a 1, 2, 3 as the Lone Eagle goes down in defeat, and the victors, Ivan the Terrible and Little Tokyo, in an outstanding tag team midget match. We'll be back with more action after this message.
www.
All right, there you are, guys. There is the other one. There's probably more wrestling in that one than what you see today. Thank you, PJ. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, these people today, they had a couple of little funny spots. Of course, they're little people. That's what they're supposed to do. It's supposed to be entertaining. But that match, the difference between that one and the one with the big people, like with Parsons and I forget the other guy's name, it's a different kind of scenario. The other video was more comedic than the second one. The second video was more of wrestling. I thought it was an absolutely great match. They had a little spot with the referee and they roll over him and stuff. I mean, that's normal. That's a normal spot. Same thing, doing the thing where you run back and forth over the heel or whatever that's on the ground. Everybody runs over him. That is a normal spot that they used to do years and years and years ago. And I refereed them and did the same thing and did the same spots and the same silly stuff. But anyway, that was a good match. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I have got a song that I can do. I've got several actually that I can do, but I want y'all to pick one. Do you want a country song or do you want a Johnny Cash song? I've got 2 or 3 of his. A George Jones song, which I'm not real good at. Garth Brooks, I ain't worth a dime at. I've got 7 Spanish Angels, Willie Nelson, and Ray Charles. I've also got Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison, Hurt, I Walk the Line, Ring of Fire, all by Johnny Cash. I've got Stained, Tangled Up in You, and I'm not real good at that one, so I haven't practiced it. I've got Marty Robbins, El Paso, which is a real good one. I've got Harry Chapin Carpenter, which is Cats in the Cradle. I've also got Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven, which is a real sad song. I've got Jenny C. Riley, Harper Valley PTA. I've also got a couple of Conway Twitty. I've also got an Adele song, Someone Like You. And then, of course, I've got that one of Ozzy Osbourne. I did that a couple of weeks ago. And I've also got It's Been a While, and that, again, is by Stained. So y'all let me know which one y'all want, and I will attempt to load it and sing it and make sure I put
my voice changer on.
Anyway, I can be in a cave, or I can change it and do the singing thing. All right.
Y'all let me know what you want. Do you want a country song or something a little more modern? It's up to y'all. I've still got 2 people watching on Wayne's World, and I take it it's going to be PJ and probably Al. Which song do y'all want, guys? Because I can do 7 Spanish Angels. It's hard to do both voices, but I can. Country will be fine. Okay. Do you want Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson? 'Cause I can do Willie Nelson, but it's hard for me to do Ray Charles, but I can do it. Marty Robbins or Harper Valley PTA? Okay, I've got 2. Okay, I'll satisfy both of you. I'll do the Marty Robbins song. It's country, so that satisfies PJ. And you said Marty Robbins, Al, so that's that. And then maybe next time we'll do the Harper Valley PTA. That'll work. Okay, Marty Robbins, and that is El Paso. That is one of my favorites. So, let me get this queued up and added real quick. Gotta go to my downloads folder, and then I gotta find the song. And it is right. There's Harper Valley. Found it. 7 Spanish Angels. I'm looking for El Paso. Where is it? Man, I got a bunch of stuff on here. I need to make all this bigger where I can see it better. Okay, it's in the El Paso. There it is. Okay, I found it. All right, so it is going to be Marty Robbins, El Paso. Now I'll get my voice changer on, get that turned on, and it's already set. All right. So here we go, guys. Marty Robbins, El Paso. This is just for you too, guys. Oh, I messed up again. It's supposed to be this one. Nope. Did it again. It was working. There we go. Now I got it. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rosa's Cantina. Music would play and Vicky would whirl. Blacker than night are the eyes of Vicky, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was deep in this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Vicky, the girl that I love. Girl, I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. Miss Betsy. Challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. Handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked by the foul evil deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Roses I ran, wild as the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride. That's the town of El Paso, out to the badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've been seen, young maiden. My love is stronger than fear of death. I saddled up and away I did ride, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet may find me. Tonight nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. Oh,
the hill overlooking El Paso, I can see Rosa's Cantina below. My love is strong and it pushes me onward, down off the hill to Vicky I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cowboys, off to my left right a dozen or more. Can't let them catch me, I have to make it Rosa's back door. I'm messing up. It's wrong for I feel deep burning pain in my side. Though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. That's when I've fallen. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I see the white puff of smoke from the rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Vicky has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side. Cradled by 2 loving arms that I'll die for, one little kiss and Vicky, goodbye. All right, well, that's sort of half-assed messed up because I forgot most of the words, even though I was sitting there looking at them. Anyway, guys, hope everybody out there enjoyed it. It's supposed to be all fun and everything. Thank you, PJ, and thank you, Al. Be sure you spread the word out there, guys. Wayne's World will not be here next week. Thank you, Al. Love you too, buddy. Today is the 13th, so on the 20th, there will not be a show. I am going on vacation next week. Wednesday and Thursday, I will not be online, and where I'm going does not have internet connection, so I could not even do it on my phone if I wanted to. However, I have been working 6 days a week and am a little on the tired side. And next Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to take off. Next Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I'm working half a day Wednesday, and then I'm taking off Thursday and Friday, and then I've got to go back and work Saturday. But anyway, thank you very much, Al. No, PJ, there will be no show next week on the 20th, which is next Thursday. Like I said, I'm going to be on vacation and trying to unwind and relax and spend time with my grandkids, taking them fishing and all that kind of thing. But I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and I do appreciate you supporting me. And again, be sure to share Wayne's World. Randy Hales will be doing his show Monday. It is Talking, I'm sorry, it's not Talking Memphis Wrestling. It's the Power Pro Watch Along. That's on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. And then Tuesday he has Talking Memphis Wrestling. And then Friday, which will be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I believe he is doing the Randy Hales show. I am going to try to watch it, and he's always entertaining. He's always got his rants, and I absolutely love all that. Thank you, PJ. I'm hoping to have a safe trip, and I'm hoping to have a really nice time and unwind. It's hot outside, and unfortunately my job is outside. And it is exhausting. But anyway, thank you very much for your well wishes, and thank you, Al, for your continued prayers for Vicky. I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight and support me. I hope y'all didn't mind me butchering the song too bad. And I am absolutely tickled to death
that my voice changer works.
So I didn't waste money on that. Finally figured out how to do it. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and I am going to go ahead and close and get out of here. And I do have a new close. It's the same one, same picture, but it has music. And it is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Everybody, thanks. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and that will be on the 27th of July for Wayne's World. Good night, everybody.